It's Sunday, January 18th, 2026. Windsock is blowing pretty decent. Got some paragliders up. It's just on the edge of where we want for soaring. The sun is just coming up. It's just after 8 a.m. Sunrise this morning, I think officially was like 7:46 a.m., but it comes over the mountain just after 8 o'clock this morning. Beautiful view. We do have an inversion going on in Utah right now, but today looks way better than the last 10 days have looked as far as the inversion. Nasty, disgusting air. And my God, dude, do I ever want to soar today. Got up really early, got up at 6:20 this morning, started the truck by 6:50, was loading the glider, left the house at 7. We're so close to the wind we need. Well, so close to the wind I need. Got me and Mike and John Lindbergh out here today. If John is here, that's a good sign. That's the best sign. Man, it feels really close. Really want to freaking soar. Okay. Getting ready to go. John Lindbergh's up and soaring. Mike is on the edge of the ledge waiting to launch. Paragliders are up. The stacks are moving. There's ripples in the pond. The windmill's going. The vario's coming up. Gliders put together, ready to go. Harness is in. Hang check's done. Vario's ready for takeoff. And there goes Mike. Launching!
All right, boys and girls. Well, thank you for joining me on this hang gliding journey today. This is going to be an absolutely amazing experience for me because today is my first day of actual, real, true soaring. And the really interesting thing that I have found about hang gliding is that when you're setting up your glider and when you're approaching your launch, you just literally never know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen on that flight. You don't know if you're going to encounter birds. You don't know if you're going to get to soar with some of your buddies and hunt for thermals together. You don't know how your landing is going to end up, if there's going to be a crash or an epic landing. There's just so many things that can happen and that you can experience. And that is one of the coolest things about this sport. And obviously I saw John and Mike up there soaring before I launched today, but I hadn't yet soared. And so in my mind, I was thinking, it's okay if I don't. It's okay if I just do a sledder. It's okay if I can't hang with these guys yet. I'll figure it out eventually. But the goal has always been to have a flight like I'm going to have here today in this video, to soar, to stay up for as long as possible. And it's been a journey getting to a day like today, from taking hang gliding lessons with Ted at Wasatch Hang Gliding, running up and down that training hill that I'm flying above right now. All of the lessons, all of the research on hang gliding manufacturers and sail colors and styles of crossbar and down tubes and just everything that goes into the experience has all built up to having a day like today, from choosing the harness and the helmet to the vario, to trying to learn how to fly in these big, heavy winter gloves that take away my dexterity. And so much goes through your mind when you do it. And like I said in my last video, which was my first flight of 2026, sometimes you just have nerves that you have to work through, and you learn from every flight. You know, from Crawford, where I put myself into pilot-induced oscillation by going too fast and not having my harness set up correctly, to having my first flight of 2026, where I got rid of those nerves and got re-excited and happy about flying, to today. And you can see my harness is better. I've got my feet up in my harness. I was not able to get my harness zipped up at all on this flight. I sort of try a little bit, and you'll see that here and there where I'll take my left hand and try to pull my zipper. But of course, this is just another beginner pilot mistake, because I should have took my right hand and pulled the zipper from the right side to zip it up. The left side is to zip it back down to get my landing gear back out. So that was something I learned on this flight. But, my focus is there. Inside, I've got a smile that's just enormous. It's covering my entire face. But on the outside, I look focused, because I am. I'm trying to get the feel of this whole soaring thing. Because to this point in my life, I've not soared really for even 4 minutes. I've had sub 4-minute sledders, both at Crawford and at Point of the Mountain. And today, I ended up flying for an hour and 2 minutes, which was incredible. That's a 1,967% increase in soaring time. So pretty stoked about that. Was really trying to feel out the wind. And, one of the benefits of the winter, and yes, this is a winter flight. This mountain should be covered in snow right now, but it's not, which presents some great flying for us. But the air in the winter is cold, and therefore it's more dense. And it feels quite smooth. I mean, I don't have a lot to compare it with at this point in my piloting career. But I feel like it felt really great. And I've watched plenty of hang gliding videos, and I've heard sometimes where other pilots will talk about, hotter air versus colder air and how it feels. Same thing with drier air and more humid air. And so these are all experiences that will happen in my future. But for today, oh my gosh, just absolutely stoked and excited to be up here at the south side of the Point of the Mountain in Utah, flying with these other hang glider pilots and paraglider pilots this day, getting more lift than I've ever had before, hearing those beeps on the Vario for the first time, definitely a first time for me, made this all just such a really great experience. Getting to pass by John and fly under his wing and have him wave at me and congratulate me for being up there flying. And John remembers days when there was as many hang glider pilots here at the Point of the Mountain as there are now paraglider pilots, and that would be quite the sight to see. My gosh, I would love to see more hang glider pilots up here. One of the benefits as well about the winter is because it's cold, a lot of people are like, F that, I ain't flying out in that cold. The wind at the launch the temperature there at the launch is like 20 degrees when we launched this morning. And so once you've got that wind blowing on you and everything else, you get that wind chill factor. It's quite cool. So we're dressed in multiple layers. But one of the benefits about the winter flying is less people come up. And that opens up a really great opportunity for a brand new Hang 2 pilot who is not really ready to dodge 30 to 40 jellyfish up there in the air flying with us. Obviously, I don't want to hit them, and they don't want to be hit by me. And so when there's fewer of them up here, it gives me a really great opportunity to practice flying and practice turning and understand, just how everything feels up in the wind. And there went Mike, just past me right there in the green and black glider. And Mike's had some more soaring flights than I have already. He's got a few more hours, I think, than I do of soaring time. And one of his biggest concerns has been top landing here at Point of the Mountain. And so he's working on that today. You'll see him kind of make a few passes more towards the top. You can see he's trying to work on a top landing. And that's something I hope to get to soon as well. Part of working on your Hang 2 hours to get to your Hang 3 rating, part of that is hours. You have to have 10 hours of flight. See, there's Mike back there over the top. And on top of that, you have to fly for at least 30 days, and you have to have at least 90 flights. So a lot of launching and landing is what USHPA is wanting you to do as a Hang 2. A lot of launching and landing. They don't necessarily care that you flew for 14 hours in one flight. That's not going to matter. Sure, you can meet your hours requirement, but that doesn't make you good at launching and landing. So that's why there's 90 launches and lands, or 90 flights required to move up into H3 on 30 different flying days. So even if you had one day where you knocked out all 90 launches and landings, which would be incredible if you did that, they don't want you to do all that in one day. You got to have different experiences with different types of weather: summer, fall, spring, winter, warmer air, cooler air, humid air, dry air. Getting the opportunity to experience flying behind another wing, where you might feel a little bit of rotor coming off a paraglider wing, which I have felt that now because of this soaring flight, or off of a hang glider wing. And those are some things you need to get the feel for. You need to learn how to set up your landing approaches properly and safely. And so those are all things that Mike and I are working on now that we're Hang 2 pilots. And it's really cool to fly with other people, because you can see things that they do right and see things that they do wrong, and try to plug that information into your head and prepare for, your own future flights as well. So Point of the Mountain is a really great ridge lift soaring area. And so the wind is coming from the south and making its way towards the north, and it shoots up this hill. And landings can be difficult because a lot of that wind is shooting up, and some of it's trying to stay close to the ground and follow the ground, but that creates rotor. And there goes Mike. Unfortunately, Mike did have a crash today while practicing those top landings, and it's because of that rotor I was talking about. I don't know how to describe it exactly to other new pilots, but just try to imagine air just like water. When it shoots up over a rock in a river, behind that rock there's all this washout and white water, and everything's just turbulent and spinning all different directions and mixing in different ways. It's really bumpy to fly through. Most anyone, probably everyone that's watching this video, has had experience being in an airplane. You get turbulence, you just get all kinds of bumpy and textured air that you have to fly through. You've got gradient layers. You've got faster moving air, and then as you get lower, you might have slower moving air, and that can make for a really big challenge in staying safe in your hang glider and, having a nice smooth flight. It was very difficult to see Mike have that crash here on my very first day of hang gliding. I was very conflicted. There was a huge part of me that wanted to go down there and help him. There was another part of me that knew that to do that, I was going to have to do a top landing. I would have to do it quickly and safely and get my glider tied up so I could go help my buddy Mike. And as all these thought processes were going through my head, I saw people walking over to help him out, which gave me a little bit of mental relief on the situation, but he was very heavy on my mind at these moments. And I was trying to figure out what I should do, because I have not yet at this point had a good top landing at all. I've had one small crash on the top, and if Mike was already having trouble top landing as well, my worry was, what if I go down there to save him and I just become a second incident? I was also looking to the more experienced pilot, John Lindbergh, that I was flying with, and I saw that he kept flying. So I'm sure a lot of the same things were going through his mind. I'm sure he's seen a lot more of other hang glider pilots have crashes over his years of flying. But there were people on the ground that went over to help Mike. And unfortunately, he did total his down tubes. And that's obviously always an unfortunate situation, because it's not super cheap to replace these parts. And so I always think about that, and I worry about that as well. In fact, I ordered some spare down tubes from Will's Wing and hope to have those soon, just in case anything ever does happen to me, which hopefully it doesn't. But you never know, and it's always great. Boy Scout motto, right? Be prepared. So after I saw people going over to help Mike and kept an eye on him every time I passed by, I felt more comfortable about continuing with my flight and continuing with this wonderful opportunity here at Point of the Mountain to enjoy this ridge lift, to float around in this cold but clean, dense winter air, and take in the scenery below, and always keep my eye on as many of the other pilots as I can to make sure that I'm not getting in their way, getting too close to them, making sure they're not getting too close to me. And you can see that I had just tried to pull that zipper with my left hand. So, watching this back, of course, I feel like an idiot, but it's all part of getting used to things. And doing it wrong on this flight definitely set it in my mind that I need to be spending more time even just hanging in my harness at home, just setting it up on my pull-up bar, hanging in it, and getting really familiar with it. I mean, being up in the air is not the time to be trying to get familiar with any of your equipment. But of course, being new and not having had real training on the harness, like this is just not part of, hang to rating. And therefore that's really kind of why I think it's not built into the training, but there's no task to complete for hang 2 to get signed off on your hang 2 to learn how to fly in your pod harness, or learn how to zip up the zippers correctly, or where those connections are made. There's nothing requiring an instructor to train you on how to fly in winter gloves, or how to remember to lift or raise, to raise or lower your visor on your helmet. These are just not parts of hang 2 training. And in some ways, I sort of feel like what I'm doing on a day like this is a little bit above hang 2 skill set when I just read the SOPs from USHPA on hang 2. In my opinion, the hang 2 training is really to get you to a place where you can kind of continue what you've been doing in training, building up your skills, doing a lot of sled runs on training hills, slowly moving those training hills, higher and higher if possible. There's like Ed Levin is a really great location for that. They've got 50 foot and 300 foot and 600 foot and 900 foot different ledges that you can launch off of. And if you do that in a 2 mile an hour day, that's a perfect way to build confidence and skill as a hang 2 pilot. Here at Point of the Mountain, we have a notch or a ledge that's 150, 200 feet up, and then the top of the launch is 300 feet. And obviously, you can't really go higher than that because it's all just flat up there. So, the nice thing here is that you can have a day like today and get a lot of lift, and you can soar for a long time, and then you have your options for landing. You can top land, or you can go down and land in the LZ down at the bottom. So we do have those 2 LZ options, but it would be nice to have had maybe some more training on top landing, flying in a pod harness, flying in gloves. That is actually quite difficult. Losing the dexterity. You got to have really grippy gloves as well, which thankfully this pair of gloves I'm flying with, they're quite grippy on the pads of the gloves. And that's important because you don't want them slipping on your down tubes when you're launching and landing, or you're trying to do ground handling and kiting before your launch. You want to have good grip. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to for, upcoming spring and summer and fall flights, is not having to wear these thick, heavy snowboarding gloves. And I do know that bar mitts are an option as well, but I haven't really found any yet. I don't see many pilots flying with them, and I'm only seeing them be sold by maybe like motorcycle companies or also kayaking companies that sell bar mitts that I think you could use for hang gliding. So I haven't flown with those, but that is an option as well. But man, this air is so cold that if I don't have gloves on, my hands get cold really, really quick. So for this flight, you know, you can see just from the amount of time you've been watching it so far that the point of the mountain, especially for a Hang 2 pilot, is a lot of just simple gliding back and forth. I'm going, you know, east to west. I'm going, right now, I'm headed east. And then soon I'll turn around 180 and go west, and then turn 180 and go east. And you just kind of do that back and forth and try to, you know, gain and maintain lift as much as possible. Practice your landings. But there's not much more to it beyond that. And so it's a really great place to be able to rack up a lot of hours, soaring, flying. And it's a good place to just work on a lot of the foundations and basics of your skills so you can move on to other locations. Here at the south side of the point of the mountain, it is in Utah County. And just on the north side of it is Salt Lake County, where you have Salt Lake City and the Great Salt Lake and all of that. And there is a north side as well to the point of the mountain, which I have not yet flown. It is also a Hang 2 site, just like the south side. But it's a little bit different. And a lot of pilots, more experienced pilots who have flown both sides, have said that they really think that the north side should be a Hang 3 site. So I have listened to all the warnings of everybody else that I've talked with, and they have really recommended that I get more soaring time, more flight days, more launching and landing before I try the north side. And that the first thing I should do at the north side is a sled run before I ever try to bench up there and, you know, gain more altitude and fly higher and come down into the larger landing zone on the north side. But stay tuned to my channel, because eventually I will be flying the north side as well. I just want to get more airtime, more launches and landings here at the south side, really refining my skills and making sure I'm very familiar with all of my equipment and everything else before I put myself in a potentially sticky situation. Man, I can't even tell you how much I love hearing that Vario just with those beeps going up. It is such a freaking thrill. It just gets my heart racing. It gets my blood pumping. And it starts to make me think, wow, like how long can this actually last? And as you guys know, because I already told you, and some people, of course, will already skip past all of this and fast forward, but an hour and 2 minutes on this flight, just freaking incredible. Absolutely freaking incredible. There I am again, trying with my left hand on the wrong side of the zipper. Such a noob. But you live and you learn, right? Some of these things I just don't learn from a book or hanging on a pull-up bar in my harness. Sometimes I have to get out there and get mad at myself and be like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And when I land, I look down at the harness and then I go, oh, well, that's what I did wrong. And then I never forget that ever again. So just like screwing and unscrewing a screw with a screwdriver, you know, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, my right hand will tighten up my zipper and my left hand will loosen it back open. So that's something I've programmed into my mind as well. And that just works for me really easy. So if you're stealing that one from me, you're welcome. If you happen to get the Woody Valley Libero harness like I have, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Don't make the same mistakes that I do. That's another thing I like about making these videos as well, is other people can help me see what I do wrong when I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I love that kind of feedback. I love getting all the opinions and advice of everybody else. But I also love teaching you guys, either through something I learned and did right, or something I learned because I was doing it wrong. So you're welcome.
All right, well, I have debated for a while about exactly what I should do with all of this footage of me going east to west here at Southside Point of the Mountain. Since this is my first really long flight, I had no plans for narrating an hour of footage, trying to find the right songs to put to the footage, leaving just the sound of the wind. I really wasn't sure. And so I flew for another 40 whatever minutes on this flight, somewhere thereabouts, and it's awesome. I don't know how much that's going to retain the attention of the average YouTube watcher. And so I'm going to put the last 40 minutes of my flight here in 2x speed. And you are absolutely welcome to continue listening to me talk and fly, watch me fly. And I guess I can look later at how much retention of the audience that actually maintains and see what you guys are into. I definitely want to make awesome hang gliding content that captures your attention, that gives you a good flying day when you're stuck at home on bad weather, or something to learn if you're a new pilot following my entire journey, and you want to see what it's like to have your very first soaring flight. But I am going to speed up the video, and for anybody that wants to skip past this 2x speed of flying and jump right to the end, I do list all my videos out by chapters in the description area, so sometimes if you just want to skip ahead or you want to rewind to a certain spot, make sure you check that out in the description. And if you haven't ever played around with the description area in YouTube, I put a lot of cool info in there. My flight log is one of the things that I've got in there as well. So if you want to follow along as I progress towards, Hang 3 rating and track my hours and how many flights, how many days I've flown, all of that kind of stuff, the number of different flying sites that I've flown. I'm trying to keep track of all of that stuff as best as I can. I think I've got it all accurate up to this point, which isn't hard to do considering I've been flying for like 7 months. But check that out, because I do put cool stuff in there. I also put a lot of references to other people's YouTube videos or videos that I use in my videos from other YouTube channels. So if you've watched my videos and never looking at the description area, go check it out, because every video has something really cool in there that you may have missed. Other than that, enjoy the vibes on the rest of this video, and I will see you for the most epic landing I have ever had. Towards the end of this video, I absolutely was blowing my mind how just epic this whole flight was, and then to have the kind of landing that I did, I just thought, man, how can it get better? I'm sure it can, but right now it feels like that's impossible for this to get better. This is everything. This is so rad. Thank you for watching my videos. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that thumbs up button, help out the algorithm to support hang gliding for future viewers, and I will chat with you shortly.
night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
All right, well, welcome back to the end of my very first soaring flight. You're about to witness a landing that made me just smile from ear to ear. So super freaking cool. I had thought about the landing approach during this entire flight because, like I said earlier, and as you've seen on my videos or not seen on my videos, I've never had a top landing before that was successful. I've had one crash up top, that's it. But today, I really wanted to give it my best and try to get a top landing out of this, get a little bit greedy and make this amazing flight even better. So I was thinking about how and when to drop my legs out of my harness, reminding myself to put my hands up on my down tubes, and everything that I needed to do to set up this approach. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Stick with me and watch this amazing elevator landing and my final commentary, and I will see you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching today.
Holy shit, yeah! Fuck yeah! Woo! Yeah, baby! Mike, I'm so excited for myself, but I'm also worried about you, brother. Is it fucked? God damn, dude, I'm so sorry, brother. Oh my God. That was by far the most amazing thing. My hands are frozen. My nose is leaking snot from being so cold. But it was a beautiful day. Could have kept flying, but I could never zip up my harness. So my legs and my butt cheeks are like exhausted from like stabilizing myself a bit. Mike totaled his glider. I top landed like a champ. God, that was amazing. I need to work on my harness a little better. I need to understand how to read my vario better. But everything about this flight was amazing. Incredible. Effing incredible.